warm welcome to our series of online support presentations from the Suffolk Psychology and Therapeutic Services. The presenters you'll hear are all members of our inclusion facilitation team. They are experts in working therapeutically with children and young people of all ages who find the social and emotional demands of education hard work. You can find out about the huge scope of the range of support that our inclusion facilitators offer by clicking on the web link below. Each of our series follows the same simple premise: to watch at your own speed and learn at your own pace.
This presentation, created by the Inclusion Facilitation team, will focus on creating a therapeutic timetable. Before continuing with this online support series, please ensure that you have watched our video explaining the ABCD model. You can find the link to this on the screen now. This video will cover a summary of the ABCD model, an explanation of the therapeutic timetable, considerations to make when creating your therapeutic timetable, including examples, and a takeaway activity, creating a therapeutic timetable for your child or young person. Before we continue, please take a moment to reflect on your present level of knowledge about the therapeutic timetable and where you might place yourself along this scale.
Is an approach to understanding young people's behaviour and communication. The tool looks at behavioural patterns, triggers, and identifying support. This model can be used to support children and young people of all ages and stages and complements the subsequent creation of a therapeutic timetable. Models can be completed for each displayed behaviour, meaning that there may be multiple completed tables for one child or young person. The ABCD model can help supporting adults understand behaviour through a new lens, promoting inclusion by implementing strategies to support unvoiced needs.
Following on from the ABCD online support series, you should now have several completed ABCD tables and a list of strategies to implement with your young person. If you are struggling to complete an ABCD table, here is an example of a finish table. In column D, we can see that the key adults have identified a list of next steps to discuss and implement in order to begin supporting their child or young person.
A therapeutic timetable seeks to identify hotspots throughout a young person's school day and creates a plan to help them feel supported, which can be shared with key adults. Whilst the ABCD model looks at specific behaviours, the therapeutic timetable expands on this. We try to look at the bigger picture, considering the environment, the time of day or week, and the support network surrounding the child or young person. The benefits of creating a therapeutic timetable include highlighting time for further connection and relationship building. It helps to reframe the way we see certain behaviours and identify specific, personalised strategies for support. It also creates an inclusive environment for the individual so that they feel heard and supported.
Here is an example of a partially completed therapeutic timetable. Timings and key points throughout the day can be altered and made bespoke to your school day. Hotspots. What are we noticing? This column helps to identify the hotspots throughout the child or young person's day. These tend to be the times where the child or young person is dysregulated and in need of some extra support. The examples shown include distressed behaviour and withdrawal. Calm. In this section, we're looking for times to connect. This will promote relationship building, hopefully decreasing the length of time that a child or young person is dysregulated throughout the day. Identifying times where the child or young person is happy or content will also help to identify what they might enjoy during the school day. These are the moments where intervention should take place. What can we do? Here, we can add person-centered strategies, tailored to the individual and their needs. Strategies should aim to prevent regular distress for the child or young person, supporting the identified hotspots. These strategies can be movement activities, visual or auditory stimuli, appropriate touch, or scent-based intervention. There are examples included on the table shown, and there will be more examples further along in this video. Who? There will need to be an agreed adult responsible for ensuring that these strategies are being implemented. It would be beneficial if 2 or more adults work collaboratively in doing this, so that the child or young person has a wider support network around them. Where? This section decides where the strategies will take place. Who else needs to know? In this section, we highlight other key adults that need to be aware of the support in place, including agreed strategies and safe spaces. This is important to ensure that the child or young person is always supported, for example, in the event of a staff absence.
Whilst completing a therapeutic timetable, ensure that you are considering the following. Being person-centred, listening to the child or young person's voice and allowing them to have choice and control by including them in the decision-making around their support. Who are the key adults? Who do they have good relationships with in school? This does not have to be teaching staff. For example, it could be a member of the office staff that welcomes the pupil into school. Who do they already go to for support? Think about unstructured time such as lunch and break time, and consider, does the child or young person know who their support network is at school? Safe spaces in school. Where do they naturally gravitate towards? What spaces in school are consistently supervised by a member of staff? Where in school is quiet and calm, for example?
It is important to remember that the language we use sends a message to our young people. Therefore, we need to be conscious of our wording and shift our perspective to what could this behaviour be telling me? The graphic on the screen shows other examples of how we can reframe our language around behaviour in schools. A child described as hyperactive can also be described as energetic, enthusiastic, and on the go. And a child who is unfocused may be a great multitasker and can pay attention to many things at once. For example, a child that wants attention can be described as attention-seeking, leading to a negative reaction from an adult, such as ignoring. However, if we reframe our language to notice the child as attention-needing, we can see that this is a need and act accordingly to increase their sense of felt safety.
So now that you have considered how you will be person-centered, identified key adults and safe spaces, and reframed the language used to describe behaviour, you are almost ready to start creating a therapeutic timetable for your young person. Here are some strategies that we encourage key adults to use when supporting their young people to regulate. Belly breathing or mountain breathing. Calming sounds, music, or smells. Spending time outside. Completing errands or heavy lifting. Having time in a safe space. Going for a walk or moving your body. And deep pressure touch.
Now you can give it a go. Spend some time creating a therapeutic timetable for your child or young person using the information you have learned in this online support series. Start by focusing on one day at a time, then it may be useful to look at the young person's week, as this may help to identify behavioural patterns as well as triggers and opportunities for connection and relationship building.
Thank you for listening to our presentation. Please, would you take a moment to remember the number that you chose at the start? Reflecting now on what you have learned, where would you now place yourself along this scale? We hope that it's a slightly higher number and that our introduction to this topic has been both helpful and interesting to you.
If you'd like to get in touch for further information or have any further questions, please email us. And you can access some free resources on our website by clicking the link on the screen.